Hey guys, it is Carl Brown for GuitarLessons365.com. I have a great song from Rush today. We're going to learn how to play Closer to the Heart. So I'm going to start with just the 12-string acoustic parts. If you just have a 6-string, it still sounds great, so don't worry about it. Just play it on a regular 6-string acoustic. So the first half of the piece is like that, and then the second half I'll grab the electric and we'll go through all those riffs and Alex's solo as well. Now before I get into it, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ring that notification bell, of course, so you'll know when I release a new video. And check out my Guitar Academy. You get the link is in the description below. That link gives you a free 7-day trial to my Guitar Academy. My Academy contains all of my guitar courses, covering everything from a complete beginner course for all you guys beginner players, a couple of beginner courses actually, and to more advanced courses for improvisation and ear training and technique and guitar tone, theory, you name it, I have it over there. So please go check it out. All right, so let's start here. Now I'm in standard tuning. Both of the guitars will be in standard tuning. Obviously I have a 12-string here. Nice and jangly. My Faith acoustic Faith guitar is 12-string here. Now, let's start here this intro. So this intro, it's kind of played 4 times, but the first time you play it, there's a slight variation. So this first time, I'll slow it down a little bit. All right, so let me just take you through this, and then the second, third, and fourth times, it's going to be all played the same way, a little bit differently than this first part. So we have this first one. You get the 5th fret on the high E, open B string, and then the 6th fret there on the G. So you pick the high E, then the B, then the G, and then you're gonna do the same thing, but you're gonna place now the 7th. You're gonna play the 7th fret on the high E. So I have this. Now the same thing except the 4th fret on the high E. So kind of stretch back with your index finger there. So I have this. And then to end it, we're gonna come back to the 5th fret on the high E string and hit that twice. So this is where there's kind of the only thing we're hitting the same note twice in a row. So you hit that 5th fret twice in a row on the high E, and then jump over to the G string and hit that note that's at the 6th fret. So we have this all together. Then we'll have this little little 4-note descending lick that's going to end every single one of these riffs here. So we have this 4th fret on the high E, then 7, 5 on the B, over to 6 on the G. So all together. All right, now we start the riff over again, but it's a little bit different. So how we started that, still the 5th fret here on the high E, open B again, but now we're going to grab the 7th fret there on the D string instead of that 6th on the G. So now as you're playing these, try to let them ring out. Let the notes ring out. So we have this. And then once again, we're going to switch to the 7th fret there on the high E, and now add the 6th fret there on the G. Because from here, it's kind of the same as the first time through. You're going to pick that 7th on the high E, the open B, and then the 6th fret there on the G. And then, so the 4th fret, across to the open B, then the 6th fret. So we have this. And then up to the 5th fret, same thing, pick the high E, then the open B, and then the G. So it was a little bit different because that first, how we started it. And then from there, it's pretty close to the, so we're just kind of messing around the top 3 strings after that. But you're letting that note ring, so we have this. So Then we have that same 4-note descending lick, and then you repeat 2 more times the riff that we just did. All right, so it's kind of a variation, the very first one, and then the second, third, and fourth time through it is pretty consistently the same. And then we have this. Real nice stuff. So we have this, you're gonna hold this G major here. So we have this, it ends up being a G major 6, but we have this 5th fret there on the D string, 4th fret on the G string, 3rd fret on the B, open high E. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick from the D, G, B, E, then back to the B, and then you kind of hit those 2 strings in the middle at the very end. So it is sort of like that. Then we're going to take it down to this. All right, so this chord be like a D add 9 in first inversion. So we're going to be playing this. So that's the 4th fret there on the D string, 2nd fret on the G, 3rd on the B, open high E. So kind of the same picking we did here. And then we're going to take it down to this F major 7. So that's going to be 3rd fret on the D string, 2nd fret on the G, 1st fret on the B, and then open high E still. Same kind of picking, so way this. From there we have this. So what that is that's an A sus2 chord into an A sus4 chord resolving to an A major chord. And it sounds like on the recording you're not just playing it in root position like this. Sounds like he's got the low E in there in the bass. So it's basically in second inversion. So what we're going to be doing here is this A sus2, you're holding the 2nd fret there on the D and the G only, and then you can strum all the other strings. So strum all 6 strings. All the other strings are open. Then you're going to keep that the same, except you're going to play the 3rd fret on the B instead of the open string. That makes it an A sus4, and then move it down to the 2nd fret on the B, which makes it a regular A major. So after you do that the first time, there's a little fill, which is picking that note that you're playing on the B string, the 2nd fret there. Then picking the D string here. This is going to be at the 2nd fret. Now pick up that finger that you're playing. You can play it with these fingers, which is more comfortable for you. There's a billion ways to play an A major. Play an open B, hammer on back to that 2nd fret, and then play that open high E. Sway this. Sway this. And then do that sus2 to sus4 to A major again. And that kind of takes care of the intro there. All right, now we have our first verse, which is, like the first half of this song is on acoustic, so it's kind of an acoustic version of the same riffs you're going to play later on the electric. So this is when Geddy's vocals come in, and he's playing, we got this going. Repeats that. So we start up here, open A string, 7th fret on the D, 6th fret on the G, 5th fret on the B, open high E string. So, and then what we're going to do is take that down 2 frets to to the G major here. And when you do that, you're going to want to bar the top 2 strings at the 3rd fret. So the 3rd fret on the B and the high E together. So 5th fret on the D, 4th on the G, barring the 3rd fret on the B and the high E. Let's play this. Alright, so no more, that A is not ringing anymore. Alright, now from there, we're going to go to a D major chord real quick. Then back to that chord we just played, that G major. And then back up to the A. And then you'll hear him a couple of times in the song. So you can kind of play this voicing, this A voicing. He'll do it with that open high E, and sometimes he'll do that bar at the 5th, just like we did at the 3rd fret. So kind of like this. Alright, now we start the riff over again, but the timing is different from between those first 2 chords from the A to the G. It's a little bit quicker. Alright, and then we go to this, really, which is the chorus, the D, A, G. We're going to repeat that. Alright, so let me play that section for you again. So it's kind of like the verse and then it goes into the chorus there. So then it goes, repeats that whole section again, the verse. Quicker between A to G the second time around. And the bells come in, and then we switch to electric guitar. So I'm gonna grab my Strat real quick, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so now the band comes in with a full electric ensemble, and we have kind of the same chord progression played a little different way. It sounds like this. And that leads us into the solo there. So that is kind of the verse chorus again right here. So we're going to start with this A chord. Now there's some layering going on here, a couple of guitars that you're hearing. So I'm kind of putting them both together in one, kind of like Alex does live. So basically we have this open A chord. Now you might sometimes see him play it with, he's barring across the 2nd fret there on the B string, but it sounds more like the recording to have that 5th fret barred on the B string as well. So what I'm doing here, this A, kind of big, wide shape of an A power chord. Open A string, 2nd fret there on the D and the G, and then bar the 5th fret there on the B and the high E. From there, we're going to go to a G chord, just a regular G major. And on the recording, you almost hear that B in the bass more, but he's playing a full G, so it might be an overdub in there to bring that B out more. So we have this. Then we go to the D major chord, back to the G, and then back to that big A. So we have. Now once again, we're going to start over now with the A, and it's a little bit quicker change to the G. Okay, just like we did before in the acoustic section. And then that gets us right to the chorus, those 3 repeated chorus chords. The D, A, G. Repeat again. And then this last time, you're just going to hear them as kind of the chord stabs there. So all together. All right, now from there we have the solo. Alex's solo comes in. It's obviously a harmony guitar solo. So I'm going to be playing basically what he would kind of do live, the high harmony line, and that's all about what we're going to look at here. It sounds really good. So it sounds like this. All right, so that first phrase is a bend at the 15th fret, and then release, and pick it again. So that's 15th fret there on the B string. I then play the 13th fret. So it's kind of opening little melody there. And now we have kind of the faster part of the solo. It looks like this. So that's going to start here at the 7th fret there on the B string. So he plays that by itself, kind of a little staccato. And then we have a 3-note group, 8, 10 on the B, over to 7 on the high E string. So we have this. So you kind of want to think of it as 1, 1, 2, 3. And then we have 9, 10 on the high E string. And then we just started getting into a pattern, which makes this a lot easier. So we have this. So you can kind of play the opening notes like that. Kind of in that timing. And now we shift up and play. This is when we have a kind of a 3-note pattern, that kind of a sequence that kind of goes up the scale. So we're going to play 9, 10, 12. So we're playing that 9, 10 again there. 9, 10, 12. And then jump up, you play 10, 12, 14. Then up here to the 12th fret, we're going to do 12, 14, 15 twice. So we have this. And then the last one up here, 14, 15, 17. So we do the 14, 15, 17 and bend up a whole step, that 17 up a whole step. And then you're going to pick that 3 more times after you kind of do 3 more bends on it there. All right, now we come down to the 12th fret. So that. That 12, 14, 15 on the high E string bent up. All right, so that's the end of that kind of section there. And then we have this. So that's a bend at the 15 on that B string again and release. And pick it when it's released. And then up to same thing at the 17th fret. And then in the official video, he plays it up here. And then I've seen him live. He does it here. So whatever you feel like doing. I'm going to play it up here. So that's just 20, 19, back and forth a few times. And then bend up to 20. All right, so we have this. All right, from there we have this. So that's a bend at the 10th fret on the B string. Then you're going to, as you get that bend up there, you're going to grab that 10th fret there on the high E. And then pick the 10 again on the B. And release. And then you're going to play 8, slide down to 7 on the B. Then pull off 9 to 7 on the G. And then you're going to kind of a little bend at the 9. And then back down to that 7. All right, and then the end of the solo. So that's going to be a quick pull off from 4 to 0 to the open on the G. And then you play the 2nd fret on the G string a couple times. And then a couple of half step bends at the 4th fret on the G. Then jump up here to the 7th fret on the G string. Kind of slide into that. Pick that a few times. Down to 6. And then over to the 10th fret there on the B. All right, now out of the solo, we have basically the intro, the clean intro, just played kind of more of a kind of half distorted electric sound. And I like to, from there, I just like to play the version where you're always going down to the D string. So you basically do that 5 times, that riff 5 times. And then we're back to that same little the verse chords to the chorus, and the chorus just kind of keeps going until it fade out. So it's kind of just that coming out of that part is like. And then here. And now we just kind of continue that D to A to G to the fade out. Now, there's some little guitar stuff like some bends and stuff there. It's kind of buried in the mix, so I'm not going to really worry about it. But we took care of the main solo. But it just really kind of just goes on those D, A, and G for a while to close out the track. So it's a pretty easy one for Rush standards. It is kind of tricky always to play 12-string. At least for me. I'm not used to 12-string guitars. So that part is a little tricky to do, but the rest of the song is pretty straightforward for Rush standards. They're usually a little bit more complex than that. And even Alex's solo is a little bit more straightforward than most of his solos. So I hope more people can maybe can approach this and that routinely maybe couldn't play a Rush song. So hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon for GuitarLessons365.com.